So, Captain Logan, you've been told there's a battle on the horizon and that you're the emissary of Pepsi, and that you're meant to fell the emissary of Coke, and you're just letting Tiny Adam West train you?
That's about the size of it.
That is absurd! Do you really buy into all of that?
It doesn't matter if I buy it. I don't have a choice but to cooperate.
Yes, you do. That's what I keep telling you. You don't have to comply with any of this. Now, part of your middle is missing. Are you really going to just keep going along with all of this until there's nothing left?
If I play along with Tiny Adam West, I get my comics to review and the Mountain Dew I need to survive. If I do nothing, chances are I never get out of here.
Do you really believe there's more going on here than a make-believe world that you've put yourself in?
I do, because as bad as I might have felt about the mistakes I've made, I know I don't hate myself. I don't have it in me to put myself through this kind of hell.
Good luck, Captain Logan. I'm afraid I have nothing to offer but the truth I've already revealed.
I am Captain Logan, and this is day 242 of Spawn Year. Each issue in this arc so far seems to accomplish less than the last, and the visual aesthetic is getting grayer and bleaker with each new installment. The credits page hasn't told us how many issues will be in this story, but considering how unnecessarily stretched out it already feels, I'd wager at least 2 or 3 more issues. At the exponentially slow and minimal rate this is going, the big finale of this arc will be a 22-page long punch with no background, colored in one dark shade of gray and penciled but not inked. One of King John's scouts brings back news of Mauve and her army of children, and says they're headed toward John's kingdom on a mission she claims is from God, but there's no telling if she plans to attack the kingdom. It's strange how the word about Mauve and the children is spreading far and wide, but no one's talking about the lurching Reaper with the terrifying skeleton face towering over them. John's heard about Mauve already and isn't worried, but seems to be planning some contingency in case his scout is right and there's real cause for concern. Since that's how the scene plays out, was it really necessary to open the issue with a whole overwritten page about how scary it is to bring the king bad news? I guess I'm supposed to be surprised by John's unconcerned reaction because of all that ominous narration, but it makes sense an army of children wouldn't make him move the doomsday clock up to midnight. Meanwhile, Covenant is ready to jump ship and leave the army. He's still conflicted about taking part in a supposedly holy crusade and doesn't want to take inexperienced children into more battles on blind faith in God alone. He calls it a fool's errand. Spawn tries to frighten the children into fleeing at the horror of his face, a countenance formed by the darkness of hell itself. He seems scared himself of the uncertainty of not knowing if he's doing the right thing and of how unwavering and sure Mauve is, operating on faith alone. He calls her a candle in the darkness. Covenant represents, I think, the old believer who questions everything when he once gave in to faith because it seems that faith betrayed him. Mauve and the children are young, naive, and starving for purpose. Having yet to be burned by their own convictions as Covenant has, they're driven by a simple idealism and the lure of a clear path. Ultimately, Covenant is impressed with Mauve's unwavering certainty. When none of the children leaves, following Mauve's leadership, Covenant reluctantly stays as well. I'm a little unsure as to why this didn't happen earlier, either before he trained a lot of these kids or after he experienced the horror of seeing once innocent children revel in the carnage of battle. This happens just after he expects a lot of them to lose their stomach for battle and quit, but then the army miraculously increases in number overnight. Although, perhaps, deep down, he's struggling with the morality of what he's doing, and hoped they'd all give up, because that's what he wants to do. So now he's acting on his fear, not of war, but of doing more evil in the name of good. Otherwise, the rest is set up for what's to come, with little information as to what I'm looking at. We see a bunch of prisoners burned alive, then Spawn and his army find the remains, then they get attacked by mortals dressed as monsters, and though they fight well, they find they're in way over their heads because there's a lot more of these feral barbarians awaiting them. I know how they feel. I sure never thought I'd go up against a puny trash can dwelling Batman and end up with a hole in my chest. I suppose all there is to do in a situation like that is charge forward and hope for the best. Well, if you're addicted to Mountain Dew and you think your only way out is enduring the preposterous and reviewing a lot of comic books, if I were those kids, I'd make like the gingerbread man and run as fast as I can. Signed, Captain Logan.